but obviously a limp-wristed southern salad. Oh, Range Rover P38. Don't see many of them about on the road these days, do you? Great cars when they're working, which won't very often. Hey! Ask me how I know. I had two. I had a Range Rover Classic, one of the last 3.5 V8s before they went to 3.9. And I had an L322, which was a complete bloody money pit. Beautiful car, but God, more time in garage than it did on the road. I will have a little bit of a chit chat with you good people. Hey! I'm still getting the occasional nut job comment, so
still haven't filled these bloody ruts in yet.
Oh no, look, it's shocking, isn't it?
It's been like that ever since it's been coming here.
Somebody, because of on that last video where I mentioned that I've got a couple of ridiculous comments, and somebody says, why don't you do what the MacMaster does? Now, I am a subscriber to the MacMaster. It's quite good. Goes different places and reviews food and talks about how shite his electric car is. He's alright, it's not a bad channel. He says you want to do what he does and just make a point of taking the rip out of the trolls, just rather than deleting the comments, let them stand and then just mention them on the channel. So I thought, hey, what a cracking idea. Instead of getting all hot under the collar about it, just bloody expose them for what they are, some of these people. So I'm just toying with the idea, being as how I get enough of these on a weekly basis to be able to dedicate some content to it. I'm toying with the idea of just having an occasional Bellend comment of the week. Bellend comment of the week award. Now this week there's been three comments which eminently qualify for that particular accolade. And there are comments on the video I did on the Classic 650, where I was basically talking about what's going on with BSA and dealerships closing and all the rest of it. And of course at the beginning of that video I stopped up at the cattle grid between Lofthouse and Nassau and just did a piece to camera, the relevance of which will become clear when I come to the winner of the Bellend Comment of the Week award. But there's a couple of runners up. And first one, somebody came into the comments and said, I notice that you like to rest your left arm, take your left hand off the handlebar and rest it occasionally, like so. Okay, I'm overdoing the histrionics of it all now, but like so. And you know you shouldn't be doing that, and if you did that on your test you'd fail. What? What are you smoking? Right, so you're not allowed to take one hand off the handlebar, aren't you? Right. For a kick-off, what if you've got an old classic motorcycle without indicators? So if a motorcycle is old enough, if it's before a certain date of registration or manufacture, it's not legally required to have indicators if they were never fitted in the first place. What you're supposed to do when you're going to turn, you are required to take your hand off the handlebar and give a hand signal to indicate where you're turning. And alright, it's easier with your left hand than it is with your right. And I believe in days of old there was some sort of left hand signal. I don't know if it was rotating your arm or whatever, that actually meant you were turning right. But anyway, notwithstanding all of that, of course you need to give hand signal. Come on. Back when I did the police advanced motorcycle course back in 1986, albeit that the new BMW R80 RTPs we were riding back then, of course, had indicators, but as part of the training and as part of an exercise in professionalism, all indications, left or right, had to be confirmed with a hand signal. So you had to indicate, and then you also had to reinforce that indication with a hand signal. And it was good training, good practice, because of course as a cop on a motorcycle, you're routinely going to have to be, while you're on the fly like this, giving hand signals like this when you're not stopped, when you're moving. You've got to be able to signal to other traffic. So, yeah. Can't take your hand off the handlebar. And let me tell you, if you're getting like pins and needles or spasms in your hand and you just try to ride through it, you're potentially creating a lot more danger than if you just take your hand off the bar and briefly ride one-handed while your arm recovers. Of course, to do that on a modern bike, you're either going to need cruise control or a throttle lock of some description, but either way, that is far safer than trying to ride through it. So that was a ridiculous comment. Goodness sake. Hey, what you been smoking? Right, so and second runner-up comment, somebody says, why don't you stop talking crap? Your videos are better when there's no voiceover, no speech, no nothing. So cut the crap and just ride. Hey! Alright, very good. Well, first thing, pal, the majority of positive comments on this here channel are in favour of a bit of commentary one way or another. For whatever reason, it would appear people do enjoy my occasional banter when we're out riding. By far the majority, you look at the likes and the positive comments and the number of views and all the rest of it, they are the most popular videos. I'll absolutely guarantee you that if I do a video that is just like a virtual ride with no commentary or anything, just a point of view ride, that will get easily a third or a quarter or less of the views of one where there is some form of commentary, whether it's commentary on the fly like this or whether it's a voiceover. So vast majority of folk prefer that, but this fella seems to think that I should stop doing that, piss all those people off and just have virtual ride videos. Hey, just to please him. So what are you smoking? Blimey. I don't know. Anyway, so #1 award. You may recall on that video that while I'm up at the cattle grid and I've stopped and I'm about to do my piece to camera, that a car comes past and I say sod off. I say sod off and then I laugh. Go on, sod off. Right. So this fella, I'm assuming it's a fella because it were a bloke's name, this fella comes onto the channel and says, I don't like the fact that you told that poor motorist to sod off when he'd done nothing wrong. Typical nasty northerner, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Are you now? Well, good. That saves me a job, doesn't it? I'm out of here. Typical nasty northerner. Do you know, well, presumably he's not a northerner. Anybody who is and who knows us here up north, you will know that our humour is heavily rooted in both self-deprecation, taking piss out of ourselves, and also the banter, which is taking the mick and having the occasional pop at each other. You know, it'll be like when you know, if you're having a beer with your mate and your mate says something you don't agree with, it's not unusual to say sod off or F off. It's nothing. It's just banter. You know, so you're going to unsubscribe from a channel because you don't like the fact that in quite a jocular, light-hearted way I've said sod off to a motorist who's coming to shop when I'm about to start my commentary. I do it with Eddie. If I'm doing something in the garage or in the driveway or in my little editing room where I'm filming, and Eddie rocks up and walks into shop, I'll frequently tell him to sod off. Or worse, but I love him to bits. I absolutely love him to bits. That's what we do. But a comment typical of his, I don't know who he was or what he is, but obviously a limp-wristed southern salad. Hey! So the award of the week goes to Mr. I'm unsubscribing because you've said sod off to a motorist, and that makes you a typical nasty northerner. That's a great bit of stereotyping, isn't it? I think you'll find we're nicer and friendlier than just about anybody else anywhere in the country. So bollocks to you. What a laugh. Oh. But anyway, so that's Bellend comment of the week out of the way. Now, I know there'll be some people out there saying, what are you playing at, Wheeler, sticking all that modern technology on your beautiful modern classic Royal Enfield Classic 350 motorcycle? Well, I had to find some way of showing you how it works, and it's not an issue for me. I'm quite happy to mix the old with the new, provided that the new offers some benefits to your riding experience, and I firmly believe that this kit does, and that's why I've now got it on all four of my bikes. So, yeah, the Voge BX TFT system with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on your phone type, and tyre pressure monitoring front and rear, and radar blind spot detection, and constant high definition video recording front and rear, and most importantly 22% off this unit if you purchase through the link in the description below with code TBW22. TBW22 will get you 22%, that's nearly a quarter off the cost of this here fantastic bit of kit. So grab a bargain.